welcome. Thank you for joining me. All I want to do today, I don't want to take up a lot of your time. I promise this will be short, but what I would love to do is for those who are existing group admins to see the new features that we've released this week, but also for those of you who may be interested in knowing how to use groups for the benefit of your business or your career or whatever it is that you're doing in your life, even for charity, whatever it is that you're doing. So I thought I'd share this information with you, and if it's useful, go ahead, use it. If it's not, well, it was lovely to meet you. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing else going on here. There's no upsells. There's nothing going on. I just want to share this information. And also, I'm like a kid on Christmas with this. Every time something is released in our clubhouse, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. I have to tell everyone. And it might not be that exciting for you. Like yesterday, one of the font sizes changed, and I was like, oh, it looks so much better. I'm so excited. But don't worry, I didn't email everyone and show them the new font size, but it was fun for me. So let me stop waffling. I will get on with it. I'm assuming that we all know each other, or at least you know a little bit about who I am. I'm the founder and CEO of Women's Business Club. That's why I emailed you, because you're in our system somewhere, or you found this online and you decided to get involved. I won't go too much into what we do. I'm happy to hang on for a few minutes afterwards if anybody wants to chat. But pretty much what we are is a global platform to support women in their business, their career, their charity, whatever professional journey you're on. And we're constantly evolving and developing. As we find barriers to your success, we are looking for solutions. And so nothing will ever be the same at Women's Business Club, because the more we find barriers, the more we're looking for solutions, the more we're going to build new features in the clubhouse. The key thing for us, though, is meeting in person. That's our primary objective. That's our passion. It was great during lockdown that we could meet online like this. And obviously, we still do a ton of virtual meetings like this, because we can reach more people. We can reach each other quickly. We can achieve a lot more. But there's nothing quite like meeting in person. And so we want to get us offline and into an in-person meetup in your country, in your city, wherever you are, as quickly as possible. And so we have a system that we call Coffee and Co-working. It's a very simple system. It's basically we have a leader who organizes with a venue, a hotel or a coffee shop or something, makes arrangements for us to meet there. You come along with your laptop or your notebook or however you work, and we just co-work together. It's super simple, so that we can set these up everywhere. So we can have women meeting in person worldwide. And so that's available. If you want to find one near you, just go to the event section in the clubhouse. If you want to lead one, get in touch with me and I'll send you information. But we want to see thousands and thousands of these worldwide. Just a very simple model so women can get together and meet up in person. But anyway, that's even more than I wanted to say. So let me share my screen and I will tell you what I invited you to hear about today. So shall we go? So this is our website, womensbusiness.club. And to enter the clubhouse, you can click on the clubhouse button, or you can just go womensbusiness.club/login. You all have an account, so you don't need to register. Please don't create a duplicate account. It makes it very messy for you. But anyway, so here's the clubhouse. And the area we're going to focus on today are our groups. So to access groups, you go to connect, go to groups, and then you have the option of seeing all the groups. You can see your groups, so my groups, the groups I've joined, or sorry, the groups I host. So my groups, these are my groups, Angela de Souza's groups that I host. Join groups, these are your groups that I've joined. So I've joined a few of your groups, probably most of them. And then you can just see the whole lot all together. And this is what I want to introduce to you today, or if you already have a group, I want to show you the new features to help you get more from your group. Just something else that I did this morning as well for you is I wrote a post, because I'm going to whiz through the stuff today very quickly. You might not keep up. So I put it in the form of a post as well on the dashboard. So if you go to the dashboard, you'll see this post. It should be near the top. Excuse my cough. And so this is what we're going to run through today, so I can show you how you can get value for your group. For me, I'm passionate about groups because I'm passionate about community. I think everything is better if we do it in community. It's better for us. So if we are involved in a community that's relevant to us and is supporting us or empowering us or teaching us or whatever we're in community for, I think we do better. No one does well alone. But it's also really good for business. It's really good for your business. If you're running a business, a group, a community centered around your niche is powerful. You'll definitely do so much better if you are engaging and building community around your offering. And thirdly, if you're in a career, if you're building a career, you can join groups or create groups that are going to support where you want to get to in your career. Again, community is powerful. I know a lot of people in great jobs because they knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody, and they got a great job. And so community is powerful. You can also do community around your support needs. So if you women, oh, I chatted with a lady the other day, and I agreed with her that we need a group, a support group, if you want to call it that, for mums with difficult teenagers, who are running a business. There are a few of us out there, and it is one of the most loneliest things I've ever experienced was dealing with a difficult teenager and running a business, and there's just no one to talk to. The professionals are a nightmare. Not all, sorry if you're a professional, not all, but a lot of the professionals have just been a nightmare. Judging you severely for having a difficult teenager. Anyway, I won't get into that, but the point is, I would have loved a group around that where other business mums were challenged with the same things, where I could not only let off steam, but get support and get even practical ideas. So groups aren't only for building and promoting and educating, but also for support. An ADHD group would be brilliant because there's so much awareness around that now, and so many women are trying to get a diagnosis or have a diagnosis with ADHD, and they need support. And I think it would be really good to have business women with ADHD or things like that. Anyway, you get the picture. I'm trying so hard not to waffle today. I'll whiz through this. I'm not going to read it all. You can read it in your own time. But here are some ideas of how you can use groups. Networking, as I said, community is essential. So depending what you're networking for, you can find the right groups and you can build your network and you can expand your network through groups. Increased visibility. I'm so passionate about us being visible. It's one thing that business women seldom do well. They shy away from being visible when actually those who are doing really, really well are really, really visible and they're unashamedly visible. And so you can use groups to increase your visibility either by joining a group and actually offering your expertise to other group members and just regularly posting just to share your expertise or to share your support, being visible in that way. Or you host your own group and be visible because you are the top level expert in this group and you are the one that's leading the group. The leader is always more visible than those engaging in the group if they're doing a good job of running their group. Learning and development. Groups are fantastic ways to have, you could have sector specific groups. You could have, stage of business groups. You could have geography groups based on your location. You could have groups around absolutely anything. But a great thing in groups as well is that you can share knowledge, you can offer expertise, and we can learn and grow together. Mm-hmm. Lead generation and sales. I'd be careful with this one. Yes, you can make sales. Yes, you can generate leads if done the right way. If you're genuinely building community and being a part of the community, if you're one of those people that are just going to advertise, promote, and spam all the time in the group, you're actually doing harm to yourself and your reputation. You're going to put people off. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I have this event coming up. Would anyone like to join me? Or I'm launching my book. Would anybody, like a copy? Or there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's about doing that in between, offering value, supporting others, contributing, being a normal member of the community and dropping in your offers or your news in a very natural way where it is news. That's absolutely fine. But I think you all know who I'm speaking about. There's always this person, all they ever do is promote, 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 and they never give anything back, and they're never offering any value to the group. And those people, you just kind of start to ignore them. So be careful with that. You can use it for lead generation and sales. Building relationships. I think I've covered this already, but emotional, professional support, women in competitive industries. There's just so much support that we can get. Recruitment and talent sourcing. Again, we could use groups to look for team members, to look for staff, to offer roles that we have in our company. Cost-effective marketing. Again, these groups are free. There's no charge for this. There'll never be a charge to join a group. In the future, group creation will only be for paid members. So get in now while it's still free. But in time, this will be one of the features of membership will be you can create and lead groups. There'll be no extra charge, but it will be included in your membership package. But joining will always be absolutely free. And Women's Business Club don't go into your groups and take over and do anything. It's your group. You own it. It's your business, what you want to do in there. So use it for, promotion, for marketing, for however you want to use your groups. And then I'm quickly going to run through setting up a group. I have written it down here, but I'm going to demonstrate it now for you. She says, trying to find groups. So if we go to groups, go to all groups. Some of our ladies have groups, but I'll just create a group from scratch. Or actually, I'll just go to one of mine and click edit rather than, yeah, here's my favorite group. So if you click create, you'll see the same screen, but obviously mine's already filled in. So you add your image, whatever image you want. I'll put something really, catchy that shows what your group's about, but not lots of text. I think that doesn't show up really well because depending on what device people are looking at, your group, it's going to shrink or expand the image accordingly. And so if you put text on there, it could come out very messy on certain devices. So have an image where the center part is always going to look good. And if some of it's cut off on the outside, it's fine. So in this case, this group, that's what the image looks like to you now in this setting. This is what it looks like on full screen. So the image is full, and then obviously if I fiddle with it, then it's going to change it. So consider your image. Your image needs to work on all devices, on all platforms. So you give your group a name. We have all sorts of groups in here. This is a particular group that I set up for a challenge that we run. You have your group description. I wouldn't put links in here because then they're not active. So people can't click on them. So it will just look messy. If you do put a link in here, it needs to be super short without the HTTPS because it's not going to do anything. And then you can choose categories. So whatever categories you want. And if there's a category that you really want that isn't there, just let me know because we can add categories. And then you can choose if a group is public or private. So if I click private, that means people have to request permission to join and you can approve them. Oh, public, anyone can join anytime. So that's the only difference. Except private groups, if I went enter to a group, you wouldn't see the posts. It is private. Whereas a public group, you can go into any group and you can read all the posts and it's fully public. And then here's where you can create your short link for your group. Now, I highly recommend grabbing your short link as soon as possible because, the early adopters always win. So one of my groups is simply author, right? So my short link is authors, I think. Authors, there we go. Nobody else can ever have authors now. I've claimed that. That's my group short link. And so that's really nice and tidy for sharing. That's really nice and tidy just to pop that on social media. I actually wrote about that in my post. I'll show you an example. Yeah, on this post, there we go. So when we get to short links, here's the author short link. Looks nice and tidy for sharing, right? If you don't have a short link, this is what your link's going to look like. It's going to be long and full of unnecessary characters and not really pretty for sharing. So I recommend claiming your short link as soon as possible. And then if we go into the group, there's a few features here that I find so useful. So this is the text that I told you I was super excited about. I told them to make it a bit smaller. It shouldn't be the same size as the rest of the text. And I was so excited when it was made smaller. But that's just me. It means nothing to you. So you can see your members of your group. You can follow or remove them. So you can follow your members, you can remove your members. Now, following members in the clubhouse allows you to see their posts. If you're not following people, you won't see their posts. So it's always good to follow anybody whose posts you're interested in seeing, and people who are just totally not relevant, you don't follow them, and then you won't see their posts on the main dashboard. This is the new feature. It's called pinned posts. Nothing new. You get that in Facebook and places like that. But I particularly wanted this because, first of all, I wanted to be able to edit. The default says pinned posts. Yeah, pinned post. Okay, that's the default. But group admins can edit this, and you can make this into whatever you want to make it into. So in our authors group, I've got some pinned posts just about news and things that's coming up. But in my challenge group, I've called it challenge. And the actual challenge here, day 1, day 2. So you can see the 5-day challenge here, and it's all in pinned posts. And this enables me to create a really lovely, user-friendly challenge. And so we're running this challenge again in February. And so pinned posts, you can call this whatever you want to. You could run a short course, you could run a challenge, you could have news and updates, whatever you want. Only group admins can pin posts. And so you can create this lovely space to have whatever you want your group to be about. You could have the latest white papers. You could, if you work on industry recruitment, say jobs in IT, for example, you could call your group jobs in IT, and your pin post title could be latest jobs, latest IT jobs available, or whatever, whatever you want to use your group for. Then the other thing that we have here is the group events. So you can set up events for your group. So this is specific to your group. So in this case, in my Show Up and Shine Challenge group, I have a Show Up and Shine Challenge event. That's when we're going to go live with this challenge, and it's an event, and we're going to have a Zoom meeting, and we're going to kickstart the challenge. You can have it for anything. But I've also asked the team to make sure this shows up in our main events page. So if you go over to events, the events you create in your group is also going to show up here, just giving your event that much more visibility. And so if you go here, you'll see all sorts of events. And again, events are free for you to create. It can be free events, it can be paid events. The money goes directly to you. Men and women can attend events. There's no limit to women-only events on our events platform. So if you have a mixed audience of men and women, you have no gender-specific business, you can still set up your event on the Women's Business Club events platform. The only condition for using our events platform is that it's led by a woman. So it's a women-led event. Anyway, I'm digressing. Then you have your member highlights. So the most, commented on or engaged with posts will show up here in order. And then you have your usual feed here with comments and people engaging. And so that's just a little bit how the group works. Now we have more features coming. So I've written here in the post as well, coming next. We have a group chat coming up. So this will allow us to get together in the group and say, every Friday, mums who are struggling with their teens, let's have a chat. Let's just have a catch up. Or I see Fiona's here. Fiona supports women with their books. Fiona could have a group around writing a book, or she could be the admin of the author group, and she can say, authors, we're gonna have a chat around getting your creative juices flowing. The point is you can use the chat for whatever you need to use it for your group. We're also going to have gamification. I'm really excited about this coming out because in my case, in the challenge, what this will look like is, at the moment we're in this corner, I don't know if you can see my mouse. Can you see my mouse wiggling on the screen? Yeah? Okay. So on this little space where my mouse is wiggling, there'll be a little tick box. And so when you've had a look at the post, so I can click view post. I can read the challenge. I can see what it's all about. I can do my task for the day, etc., etc. I can go back here and tick the box to say that I've done this particular post in the challenge. And then over here where my mouse is wiggling, there'll be a little progress bar. So in this case, it will say 1 out of 5 challenges complete. And I'm really excited about this because this can make a group a little bit more engaging and a little bit more exciting. Now, for your group type, you might be meeting a coffee and co-working meeting in your village. Then this is irrelevant to you. You don't need to tick the boxes and have a gamification bar. So you just opt out. That's not a problem. But if you want to use your group creatively and have it really engaging, then come up with something that's gamified, because people really do respond well to those little tick boxes and those little progress bars. Even if you are just doing a local meetup, you could say, who's gone for a walk this week? Tick this box. And who's networked with one other businesswoman in our area, tick this box. And you can run little competitions. And so just think outside the box. There's so much you can do with that when it comes out. It's coming. I've lost my, there we go. We're having live video. Again, that's not rocket science. It exists. I think it's going to be really useful. So we can have live video where you can just go live in the group. You can do a little update. You can do an educational talk, whatever you want to go live with. And then we can save those videos to the group. So you've got a video library. And then we're going to have badges. Again, this is super exciting because this is what makes the group, the good groups, stand out. And the inactive groups, people will quickly be able to tell which groups are really active and which are inactive, because the members can have badges for certain activities, commenting, liking, doing challenges, etc., etc. But the group itself will also have badges. So we can say most engaged group this month is, and we can feature it in our newsletter, the most engaged group, or the biggest group with the most members, or the group making the most difference in their community. And so we're going to have little badges just to make it a bit more engaging, but also so people coming into looking for a group, they can see the best groups and they can join the best groups. And so that's going to be really handy. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I think one of the other keys just to share with you is that in the previous challenge, one of the challenges was to set up a group and to run a group. And as you can see, some groups are nice and full and some are a little bit empty, because setting up a group is not going to instantly build a community. It's like anything in life and business. You have to share the group. You have to invite people. You have to show up consistently. You have to be engaged. So before you set up a group, don't just set up a group and think it's all going to work. Set up a group with the intention of, I'm going to use this feature for whatever reason you want to use this feature. So I'm going to use this feature to build my business, or I'm going to use this feature to support women struggling with ADHD, or I'm going to use this group to bring awareness to my charity. Decide what you want to use the group for, and then be intentional with it. You have to show up. You have to show up at least once a week, maybe twice a month you can get away with, but you have to show up and offer something of value. Otherwise, why will people bother to come to your group? There's a million other things they could be doing. You have to share your group. You have to invite people to join your group, and you have to tell them why it's going to be valuable to them. So you can take your short link, you can share it on social media, you can share it in your newsletter, you could even have it in your email signature footer or your autoresponder. But make sure that you are proactively building your group. And like with all things, early adopters win. So you guys, if you're going to join groups or lead groups, host groups, the more we are promoting this from the top level across the World Women's Business Club, the more value you're going to get. And then also you're going to be the first ones when new features come out to be able to say, well, we've got this badge and we've got this video and we've got this going on. And so I would say the principles around what I've shared today around groups, the principles for building a business and whatnot, that works for any group, not just the Women's Business Club groups. If you've got a Facebook group, if you've got a LinkedIn group, I just find social media is getting very saturated and very full of spam and bots. And so we're trying to get ahead of the curve at Women's Business Club, and we're trying to create a platform where you can come do business, work on your career, whatever it is you've joined for, and there won't be all of this spammers and bots and whatnot. We will be introducing a pink tick, like Twitter and Facebook have a blue tick. We're going to have a pink tick, and accounts who have verified themselves. So you submitted your passport, your driver's license, you verified your email and your phone number. So you'll go through a few, 3 or 4 step security check, and you'll get a pink tick. And that way you can know which users are verified and the real thing. And in time, in the future, not yet, but in a couple of years' time, we'll actually remove all accounts that aren't verified. So we create the safe space for women to come, do business, get support, and you know that there's no bots, no spammers, nothing else is in there except verified, genuine women who are there for the same reasons as you. So that's it. I did that in record time. Any questions?